Okay, so get this. We're diving into near-death experiences today.
Oh, fun.
But not just any NDEs, right? We're talking NDEs with a twist,
Okay, I'm intrigued.
a cosmic point system. Apparently, every new experience, earns you points in the afterlife.
Hmm.
Think like a frequent flyer program, but for eternity.
Okay, that's a new one.
So we've got these two accounts from Japan, and they lay out this whole intriguing and slightly absurd concept.
All right, let's hear it.
First up, we've got this guy who takes the scenic route to the afterlife, shall we say,
Oh.
via a motorcycle crash.
Oh, my.
Ends up watching his own surgery, like he's reviewing a movie.
Really?
I could just imagine him saying, camera angles could use some work.
Oh, wow.
Then there's this woman who finds herself in an afterlife waiting area,
Yeah.
and everyone's politely queuing up, holding these QR codes.
QR codes? Wait a minute.
Yeah, you guessed it, reveals their point totals.
That's wild.
I can practically hear the whispers like, ooh, she's got high scores.
Right.
Must have eaten at a lot of different ramen shops.
That's hilarious.
So, what do we make of all this? Are these stories just like fantastical tales? Or could they hint at some deeper truth about reality and how much we're rewarded for trying that new bubble tea flavor?
I mean, it's definitely a fascinating concept, right? And while these accounts are pretty unique, they do share some things with other NDEs, particularly those peaceful landscapes, the lack of pain, and the sense of being an observer.
Right.
There was this Japanese study in 1992 of people who had NDEs, and they found that 80% of them reported big changes in their worldview after the experience. They often started appreciating life more and caring less about material things.
So maybe there's something to this idea that our experiences, even the mundane ones, have a greater significance than we realize.
It's possible. It's like we're all on this huge scavenger hunt, racking up points for trying new things, going to new places, basically anything that breaks us out of our routine.
Okay, I like that analogy. But what about the point system itself?
Yeah.
In the woman's NDE, she says it's not about the traditional good deeds or bad deeds. It's all about novelty. So why would that be? What's the point of a point system based on novelty?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. She's told that these points are earned for experiencing new things. And the wider the variety of your experiences, the higher your score, and supposedly the better your afterlife situation.
Okay, so imagine a world where the afterlife is basically a giant leaderboard for who lived the most interesting life.
Exactly.
It's like Instagram, but with eternal consequences.
It really makes you think.
Yeah.
And it raises some questions about why such a system might even exist. We've explored the idea of a central consciousness or a great spirit in previous deep dives. That notion that we're all just fragments of something larger sent out to gather experiences and bring that knowledge back.
So we're all just data collectors for the universe.
Yeah.
I knew my corporate job felt pointless.
Well, think of it less as a job and more like a big cosmic experiment. We're each given a life to explore a unique slice of reality, and the more diverse our experiences, the richer the data we contribute.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal. So those weekend trips I've been putting off, those exotic foods I've been afraid to try, those are all potential points just waiting to be earned.
Exactly. From that perspective, even the most mundane moments can become super significant.
I never thought I'd be so motivated by the idea of a cosmic rewards program. But hey, if trying that durian fruit gets me a better spot in the afterlife queue, sign me up.
Well, it's definitely a humorous way to look at it, but ultimately this whole framework, whether you believe it literally or not, really encourages us to approach life with more curiosity and openness. It's a reminder that there's always something new to discover, something that can push us beyond our comfort zones and help us understand ourselves and the world better,
I like that.
Yeah.
It's a good way to look at it.
Makes you wonder about the logistics of it all, though, right? How are these points even calculated? Is there a cosmic algorithm out there assigning value to every single experience we have?
Right, does bungee jumping get you more points than trying a new type of sushi?
Yeah, and is there point inflation in the afterlife? Maybe those ancient Egyptians racking up points for building pyramids have messed up the curve for the rest of us.
That's a good point.
Unfortunately, the NDE accounts we're looking at don't really give us a detailed breakdown of the scoring system.
Right.
So we're kind of left to speculate.
Okay.
Maybe the point value is based on how novel the experience is, how intense the emotions involved are, or even how much it challenges your existing beliefs.
So maybe those travel bloggers who are always chasing those Instagram-worthy shots aren't so far off the mark after all.
Possibly.
Influencer takes on a whole new meaning in the afterlife, huh?
Maybe. But let's not forget that this whole framework seems to really encourage like a genuine engagement with the world.
Right.
It's not just about checking things off a cosmic bucket list, you know?
Yeah.
It's about really immersing yourself in new experiences and letting them change you.
Okay, but let's play devil's advocate here for a second. What about those who can't have a lot of different experiences because of things they can't control? Are they just destined for a low-scoring afterlife?
That's a good question, and it definitely raises some concerns about the fairness of such a system.
Hmm.
The NDE accounts we're talking about don't really address that directly, so we're left to kind of think about the implications.
Maybe there are bonus points for resilience or acts of kindness, like helping your neighbor carry groceries gets you cosmic brownie points or something.
Interesting thought. It's possible that the point system isn't as rigid as we think, you know? There could be mitigating factors or different ways to earn
It
points.
would be nice if there was like a cosmic customer service department for afterlife point disputes.
Yeah.
Can you imagine calling them and being like, hey, I was born into poverty and couldn't travel as much. Can you adjust my score, please?
I can see it now.
Right.
It's funny, but it highlights the need for a more nuanced understanding of how such a system might work. These NDE accounts are just glimpses into a realm that's still largely a mystery.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of mysteries, the motorcycle crash guy didn't mention seeing any angels or deities in the afterlife waiting room.
Oh, really?
No St. Peter, no pearly gates, just Tim Mills, Comfy Sophie, and an existential crisis.
It's interesting that you mentioned that the absence of traditional religious figures is actually a pretty common thing in a lot of NDEs. It challenges our preconceived notions of what the afterlife is supposed to be like.
Yeah.
It suggests that it might operate outside of the usual stories we've been told.
Maybe those figures are just overworked and understaffed.
Could be.
Sorry, folks. Due to budget cuts, we've had to downsize the angel workforce. Please proceed to the QR code kiosk for self-service point verification.
That's a good one.
Right.
But jokes aside, it really makes you question the narratives we've inherited and consider other possibilities.
Oh, sure. Now, there was one detail in the QR code woman's story that really stuck with me.
Oh, yeah.
She mentioned that everyone in the afterlife queue was totally silent, just patiently waiting for their turn to get their points counted.
Yeah, that silence is pretty striking.
It is.
Paints a rather bleak picture, don't you think? The sort of bureaucratic purgatory, where your score is more important than any sense of community or connection.
Can you imagine spending eternity surrounded by people who are so fixated on their cosmic credit score that they forget to actually enjoy themselves?
It's a little sad when you think about it. It makes you wonder, even if we do rack up a ton of points, what's the point of a luxurious afterlife if it lacks warmth, connection, and genuine interaction?
Totally. Who wants to spend eternity in a cosmic penthouse if all your neighbors are too busy comparing scores to have a real conversation?
Right. It highlights a potential flaw in this whole point system idea. Maybe there's more to a fulfilling afterlife than just how many experiences you've had.
Yeah.
Maybe the quality of our connections and the depth of our relationships matter too.
So maybe it's not just about trying that new Ethiopian restaurant, but inviting a friend along and enjoying the experience together.
Exactly. It's about weaving meaning and connection into the fabric of our lives.
So maybe those who are just focused on getting the highest score possible are missing the bigger picture.
It's possible.
Maybe true fulfillment comes from embracing both the new and the familiar, the individual and the communal.
It's a thought-provoking perspective. After all, life, both here and maybe beyond, isn't just about racking up experiences. It's about finding meaning and connection within those experiences.
Okay, so we've been talking about these NDEs, where your afterlife status is all about getting points for new experiences. It's kind of fascinating, but also a little scary. Like, what if I peak too early and spend eternity with a cosmic version of dial-up internet?
That's a funny thought, but remember, the goal here isn't to freak everyone out. It's to get us thinking about how we live and what we really care about.
Okay, fair enough. So let's say for a minute this point system really is real. How would that change things here on Earth? Would everyone be obsessed with trying new stuff just to get a better score?
It's an interesting question. Maybe the usual signs of success, like money or status, wouldn't matter as much as having unique experiences. Job interviews would be all about your craziest travel stories. Dating profiles would brag about how adventurous you are with food, and colleges might even offer degrees in experiential optimization.
I can see the headlines now. Man sues travel agency after bungee jump fails to deliver promised afterlife points. Or millennials blamed for cosmic point inflation.
Those are funny. But they do point out some potential problems with a system that values novelty so much. We have to think about things like exploitation, the pressure to constantly seek out new experiences, even if you don't really enjoy them, and the risk of forgetting about things like connection and community.
Right, because who wants to live in a world where everyone's so busy chasing points that they forget to actually connect with each other? It'd be like one giant cosmic networking event where everyone's just bragging about their score.
Exactly. The real value of new experiences isn't just in the novelty itself. It's about how they change us, how they connect us to other people, and how they help us understand ourselves and the world around us better.
So maybe the takeaway here isn't to start keeping track of everything we do to try and get more cosmic points. Maybe it's more about being curious and open to new things, being willing to get out of our comfort zones, and welcoming the unexpected.
It's about seeing life as a big adventure, a journey of exploration and discovery, whether or not there's some cosmic scorekeeper watching everything we do.
Well said. So as we wrap up this deep dive into these weird NDEs and this afterlife point system, I think we've learned a few things. First, even when faced with something as big as death, humans still want to measure and gamify everything. Second, maybe life isn't just about collecting experiences. It's about finding meaning and connection in them. And finally, if there really is a cosmic point system, I'm calling dibs on the best Wi-Fi password in the afterlife.
Those are some great insights. Whether we believe in this point system or not, the main message is clear. Embrace the unexpected, seek out connection, and never stop exploring all that life has to offer.
And that's it for this week's deep dive. Until next time, stay curious, keep exploring, and remember every new experience is a point earned, even if it's just for your own personal scorecard.